I've been vegan for 9 years, and I do not think that the world going vegan is enough to stop climate collapse. Individual choices matter, but they don't dismantle a system that's built on exploitation. Hey y'all, I'm Sunny. Welcome back to Vegan Sunny, and today we are going to dive into why going vegan is great, but it's not everything when it comes to fighting for the future we all deserve. One where we can actually imagine ourselves 30, 50, 70 years from now on a livable planet with fresh drinking water and breathable air. It's getting scarcer and scarcer every day. And that future that I believe we all deserve is going to hinge upon the activism, the organizing, and the collective power that we build and mobilize today. You already know that I'm plant-based for the planet, the animals, for my own personal health, but today we are diving much deeper. Because even if everyone went vegan tomorrow, we're still facing mass extinction. We're facing rising sea levels, and we have a food system that is designed to extract and never give back to our beautiful planet. Not only that, but our food systems are designed to exploit some of the most vulnerable populations on this earth. Drop a comment with an earth emoji or the word justice if you believe that climate change is, at its core, a justice issue. I do want to dive into why going vegan is something that can reduce some of the existential threats that we're all facing right now. Because factory farming doesn't just hurt animals, it directly causes world hunger. We grow enough grain and soy and other foods to feed everyone on this planet, the billions and billions of people, but instead, we feed livestock. And this is a very inefficient system. It takes about 25 calories of grain or other feed to get just 1 calorie of beef. This is an inefficient food system. It is clearly not sustainable for the long run. And at the same time, the systems change that we need is much more than our individual actions. We do need policy and regulatory and political change in order for us to confidently know we will have a livable future. When you see systems like industrial animal agriculture, which are very inefficient, for every 25 calories in, only getting 1 calorie out is ridiculous. That's less than 5% efficiency. This is not a sustainable food system. This is profit extraction dressed up as nutrition. And who suffers under this food system? It's the global south. It's the people who have the least to do with the climate crisis who are suffering the worst effects. Who's suffering the most from factory farms? It's low-income communities, marginalized people. It's the communities that live right next to the farms that are breathing in toxic fumes from fertilizers and waste and dealing with polluted water systems. I would highly recommend you watch the documentary The Smell of Money. It documents how North Carolina pig farming institutions are incredibly harmful towards the mostly Black communities surrounding these pig farms. We're seeing that the health of these people is being sacrificed for the profits of these industrial agriculture companies. Let me know in the comments what other documentaries woke you up to the reality of our food system and the changes we need. And I'm a person who does have a lot of hope. And some of the things that give me hope are all of the other people, activists, policymakers, change makers, who are committed to change and to putting people over profit. In the US, there are movements that are pushing for regenerative farming incentives and new versions of the Farm Bill that supports sustainability instead of subsidies for big agriculture. In the Philippines, local agricultural workers are fighting for food sovereignty and climate adaptation. They're using plant-based and permaculture methods to grow resilience. Across India, the rise of climate-conscious farmers and new animal protection policies show a shift towards more compassionate food systems despite corporate resistance. Across Africa, smallhold farmers are investing in regenerative practices to restore the land, replacing foreign and invasive agricultural crops with indigenous crops that are restorative to the land. But here's the thing, and this is where we all need to help out. These efforts are underfunded, underreported, and severely undervalued. Unfortunately, the systems that benefit from exploitation are the systems that we're up against, and they've got billions of dollars, and they're spending that money lobbying politicians, fighting for legislation, laws, and bills that give them tax breaks. They also have billion-dollar marketing budgets to shift public perception and a lot of global power. And if you're with me and you're vegan, that is amazing. I'm not saying stop being vegan. I think more people should be vegan. But what I am saying is we have to start organizing. And if you are involved in community organizing, in political engagement, I want to give you a big high five. That is some of the most important work that we can be doing at this inflection point in history. We need more than being able to get oat milk in our coffee every day. We need solidarity and global movements, and we need policy, laws, and change that reflect the world we want to build. Leave me a comment saying systems change if you are ready to take on some of these exploitative and extractive systems to fight for one where people and the planet are prioritized over big corporate profits. And if this conversation is resonating with you, don't forget to join my free community on School where we talk about policy, plant-based eating, and how we can push for the change we want to see in the world. And I really want you to remember to check your privilege, whatever level of privilege that is, because climate change does not affect everyone in the same ways. There's food deserts and food apartheid. There's pollution. There's rising costs of food. There's water contamination and water scarcity. And all of these horrific impacts that people are dealing with now and today are not random. It's not random that the people suffering most from the climate crisis are low-income people of color, communities that have been historically marginalized. This is the outcome of racist and classist and colonial systems. Environmental racism means indigenous land is stolen to build oil and gas pipelines and factory farms. It means kids in Black and brown neighborhoods are experiencing higher than average asthma and respiratory illness rates because they're living right next to some of the most polluted areas, whether that's industrial processing, animal agriculture, or right by the highways. It means inner city communities lacking access to fresh and healthy foods because they live in food deserts where the only things that they can buy that are close and local are highly processed, very non-nutritious, lacking fresh produce foods. If you care about the planet, then you have to care about the people on this planet too. And it is not all doomed. We can change things. In fact, never underestimate that a small group of deeply committed people can change the world, because that's the only thing that ever has changed the world for the better. We have to support political movements that center sustainability, resilience, equity. We have to uplift local farmers and grassroots campaigns. Shop seasonally, shop locally for all of your food produce. And we have to stop pretending that individual goodness can fix systemic rot. We have to start putting our energy towards where it counts. I totally believe that a better world is possible, but it's going to take the people who care about this taking action. So if you believe that a plant-based diet is political, let me know in the comments. If you agree or don't agree with what I've said in this video, also let me know. I'm very curious to hear what you think. And don't forget to share this with a friend who is a climate activist or a vegan or both and see what they think. And like this video, subscribe to Vegan Sunny, and I will see you next time. Keep fighting the good fight.